Hello, I'm Alexandra Emanuele, and we're at the GFSI conference in Seattle, Washington. Today I'm speaking with Kathleen Wybourn. She is the Director of Food and Beverage Supply Chain and Sustainability. And today we're going to be chatting about FSMA. FSMA is obviously already in law, but can you speak to some of the challenges that have arisen in implementing this law and in importing products through the law?
Sure. I'll be happy to speak about that. The biggest thing with FSMA that we see globally is the understanding that everybody have about the U.S. laws and the Code of Federal Regulations. They don't understand what that is and what they have to comply to. So the educational piece, there's a lot of education, a lot of venues and avenues for getting that education, but still a lot of sites outside the U.S. that are importing to the U.S. don't understand the laws. So that's first and foremost. It's the education piece really didn't get to all countries equally. The second one being that it's still, FSMA is still beyond knowing the laws, just understanding what FSMA is. It's even bigger than that, and understanding what it is and why it's important to the FDA and U.S. consumers and manufacturers.
Can you speak a little bit about that education piece? How are countries overcoming that challenge?
There's many avenues. There's training through the Foreign Supplier Verification Program. There's training that the FDA has a lot of good information on the FDA website that they can go to. There's companies like ourselves, DNVGL, that is a global company, and we have a lot of training sessions throughout the globe about FSMA. It's ourselves in the U.S., we have to train our colleagues and educate them to the laws, and they are then providing this training around the world. So I'd say it's a combination of one-on-one training, webinars, and the FDA does have a lot of great information on the FDA website about FSMA.
So going back to something you said in your first answer, how countries and companies don't particularly understand the importance of FSMA. Why do you think that is?
I think it's like anything that's new. I think it's still very new. I think the larger multinationals have a grasp of it, but it's just like anything else going down the supply chain, just like GFSI 20 years ago. What was GFSI? What was the mission? It's the same thing. The people that are very involved, the multinationals, resources, I think have a lot to do with it. They're involved, they understand it, then they go to the next supply chain level, and it trickles down. So I think it's a lot of that, and it's the communication. There's really hasn't been a lot of marketing about FSMA, so the FDA is not into marketing, so it's that in itself.
Very interesting. That could be a potential future piece to the puzzle.
Yes.
You speak about GFSI, it's been 20 years. We're celebrating 20 years of GFSI. It's come a long way in the 20 years. What do you see is the future 20 years from now for GFSI?
I was really involved in GFSI over the many years, and I've seen it itself evolve. And where I see it's most important and where it's heading is around modernization, digitalization, transparency, and trust. And I think it's going to be more consumer driven. The millennials are interested in what they're eating, safe food, knowing what's in their products. So it's how does certification and information to the consumer, how does it get there? How's it verified? How's it assured that it It is exactly what the consumer is consuming. So I believe it's more going to be even more consumer driven than retailers, manufacturers, wholesalers, throughout the supply chain. The consumers are going to get involved.
I mean, blockchain is a massive trend right now. It's very buzzy around transparency and traceability. Do you think that blockchain will be a big part of it? What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the immutable trust. There have to be, though, with that, the assurance to what's going into blockchain. As far as what is that information, how is it assured, so it is the truth. So the truth to that information needs to be on blockchain. And I believe the blockchain, the digitalization, and fitting everything together to the consumer, it's a natural evolution that's going to happen.
So just to wrap this up, I mean, what would you say are the three trends moving forward, or the future of food safety moving forward? Would one of those be consumer facing, or consumer is the future?
Definitely. I would say consumers, they drive, they're the ones buying the products, they're the ones that are making the demand. Trust, transparency, digital sharing, and the ecosystem is going to come together. It's still fragmented. The industry is very fragmented, but I believe we'll see that over the next 5 to 10 years, that it is going to be more universal, and collaboration is going to be inevitable.
It's very exciting. Well, thank you so much, Kathleen, for chatting with us.
Thank you.